On one side, a modern, high-tech winter jacket. On the other, a traditional Nenets coat made of reindeer hide. The difference between them represents two completely different worlds. While the modern jacket relies on synthetic layers and membranes, the Nenets coat uses an ancient natural system to survive, and it does this in one of the most brutal places on Earth. At 50 degrees below zero, the very air feels like a predator. Exposed skin freezes in minutes. Breathing hurts, and your breath can freeze instantly on your clothes and facial hair. This is the Russian Arctic, a place that seems actively hostile to human life. It's a remote, wind-blasted landscape the Nenets people call Yamal, which literally means the end of the world. But for the Nenets, this isn't a wasteland. It's home, and their skills for living here are so effective they make the deadliest cold a source of life. But why have the Nenets stuck with these ancient methods? And how have they become a part of their very identity? To answer that, we need to go back to where it all begins, in a world that shouldn't be survivable. Before we dive into these incredible survival techniques, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced extreme cold? What's the coldest temperature you've survived? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your stories. Part 1. The Problem, the Impossible World. To understand the genius of the Nenets, you have to first grasp the enemy they face every day. This isn't your pretty Christmas card, winter. This is a raw, primordial cold that sets all the rules. Here, above the Arctic Circle, winter is a long, consuming night, where the sun vanishes for months on end. Temperatures regularly hit -50°C, or -58°F. At that point, steel can shatter like glass, and the moisture in your eyes can freeze. Now imagine a world with no power grid, no central heating, no gas stations. There are no supermarkets, no paved roads. There's only the tundra, a massive, seemingly empty expanse of white. For most of us, being left here would be a death sentence, measured in minutes, not days. The cold is a constant, crushing pressure. The wind is a weapon, blasting you with ice and snow, trying to strip away every last bit of your body heat. Surviving here isn't a hobby, it's a full-time job where one mistake can be your last. The ground itself is a paradox. It's permafrost earth that has been frozen solid for thousands of years, sometimes hundreds of meters deep. But this frozen foundation is getting dangerously unstable. As the planet warms up, the permafrost is starting to thaw. And it gets worse. A sudden rainstorm in the middle of winter can cover the tundra in a thick sheet of ice, locking away the lichen that the reindeer need to eat. This can cause mass starvation in the herds, which is a disaster for a people whose entire culture is built on them. On top of all that, the modern world is closing in. Their homeland, the Yamal Peninsula, happens to sit on one of the biggest natural gas reserves on the planet. A tangle of pipelines, roads, and drilling rigs is spreading across the tundra, cutting through their ancient migration paths and polluting the land. As one herder put it with chilling simplicity, for them it is fortune, for us terror. So that's the world of the Nenets, a kingdom of ice, where a changing climate and relentless industry are threatening a sacred, ancient way of life. To survive here seems to defy logic. To thrive seems like a miracle. But the Nenets don't rely on miracles, they rely on skill, they rely on the reindeer. And it's all woven into their daily lives, starting with the one thing that stands between them and the storm, their home. Part 2. The Solutions. The Living Shelter. In a howling blizzard that could tear a modern building apart, the Nenets home looks deceptively simple. It's a cone of poles wrapped in reindeer hides. This is the choom, and to call it a tent is to miss the point entirely. The choom isn't just a temporary shelter, it's a living, breathing home, an organic machine engineered for warmth and mobility. The genius of the choom starts with its materials, and it all comes from the reindeer. The frame is about 30 to 40 long poles, carried for hundreds of kilometers because the northern tundra is treeless. But the real magic is the covering. It's a double-layered system of incredible ingenuity. The inside layer is made from thick winter reindeer hides, but with the fur facing inward. This creates a soft, dense blanket of insulation that traps all the warmth inside. The outer layer is made from summer hides, with the fur facing outward. This deflects wind and lets snow slide right off, so it doesn't melt and refreeze into a crust of ice. The two layers create a pocket of air in between, a super effective thermal barrier, just like a modern double-paned window. It's so common in their daily lives that no one seems to give it much thought, but it was precisely this simple genius that made the choom so efficient. Building it is a masterclass in teamwork, done by the women of the family. The conical shape is no accident. It's aerodynamic, letting the Arctic gales flow right over it instead of battering it to pieces. There are no rigid surfaces for the wind to smash against. Once the heavy hides are wrapped around, the whole thing is anchored not by stakes in the frozen ground, but by its own massive weight. Inside, the floor is covered in planks and more hides, insulating them from the frozen earth. And in the dead center, under an opening at the top, sits the heart of the home, a small, efficient wood-burning stove. The smoke goes straight up and out, creating a gentle circulation that pulls cold air in, feeds the fire, and pushes warm air around the space. Even when it's minus 50 degrees Celsius outside, it can be cozy inside. But the choom is more than just clever engineering. It's a map of their social and spiritual world. The space is strictly divided. The area opposite the entrance is a sacred space, the sai where family spirits are kept. The right side is for the men and their hunting tools. The left is for the women and their household tasks. It's not about inequality, it's about order, respect, and spiritual balance. The real proof of its brilliance is its portability. The Nenets are nomads. They might have to pack up camp every few days to find fresh pastures. The entire choom can be taken down, packed on sledges, and be ready to move in about an hour. Being able to transport a warm, secure, and sacred home is the key that unlocks their entire way of life. Chapter 2: The Arctic Diet. In the brutal Arctic cold, your body is a furnace that needs fuel, constantly. Some active herders can burn up to 5,000 calories a day just staying warm. In a place like this, food isn't about variety, it's high-octane fuel. And the Nenets have perfected a diet that's scientifically perfect for their needs. Their main source of everything is the reindeer, and their most vital dish is raw meat. Now this might seem shocking, but when a reindeer is harvested, the family often gathers to eat parts of it right away, while it's still warm, and drink the blood. It's a critical survival strategy. It provides an immediate, powerful blast of heat and energy. Think about it. In a climate where you would need precious fuel just to thaw a piece of meat, eating it raw is the most efficient way to get that energy into your body. But it goes way beyond just calories. For most of the year, there are no fruits or vegetables in the Arctic. Scurvy, from a lack of vitamin C, was a huge killer of early polar explorers. So why don't the Nenets get it? The secret is in their raw diet. Reindeer blood and organs like the liver are packed with vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, which cooking would destroy. It's a complete nutritional system, all delivered by the animal at the center of their world. This diet is their medicine. This high-fat, high-protein regimen would be tough for someone with a desk job, but for them it's essential. Fat is the most energy-dense nutrient, providing a long, steady release of warmth. And here's something remarkable. Genetic studies have shown that Nenets have specific gene mutations that help them process this high-fat diet efficiently. Their bodies are literally adapted for it. Their freezer is the Arctic itself. Meat not eaten right away is frozen solid in the open air. One of their staple foods is stroganina, paper-thin shavings of raw frozen meat or fish. But this isn't just slicing frozen food. The Nenets have perfected the exact temperature range where meat remains frozen enough to shave cleanly, but not so frozen it shatters. These translucent ribbons melt instantly on the tongue, delivering maximum nutrition with zero fuel cost for cooking. Western chefs who've encountered stroganina describe it as Arctic sushi, but this tradition predates Japanese raw fish culture by millennia, and they have a deep scientific understanding of what's safe to eat raw and what's not. They'll never eat pike or bear raw, for instance. It's a science passed down through generations, and nothing is wasted. The meat and blood are food, the hides are for clothing and shelter, the sinews are dried and used for thread. The bones and antlers become tools. It's a sign of deep respect. The reindeer isn't just livestock, it's a sacred partner. If you're finding this fascinating, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd hit that like button. It helps more people discover these amazing survival techniques. And subscribe so you don't miss future videos exploring cultures like this. Chapter 3. The Silent Partners. Nenets herding dogs. But the Nenets don't manage these massive herds alone. Working alongside them is one of the world's oldest dog breeds, the Nenets herding Laika. These medium-sized, thick-coated dogs are living fossils, virtually unchanged since Paleolithic times. Unlike modern herding breeds, these dogs were bred for one purpose: Arctic survival and reindeer management. Their endurance is legendary. When reindeer stray from the herd during blizzards, the dogs will track them down and stay with the lost animals for days, without food, barking constantly so their masters can locate them. They work the edges of the herd, keeping thousands of reindeer compact during migrations that span 600 to 900 miles. The Nenets value these dogs so highly that an old saying goes, "A mother teaches her daughter bride, 'My husband has a dog with which he collects deer. Take care of that dog as you would your own child.'" These dogs are the ancestors of the modern Samoyed breed, but unlike their fluffy cousins, Nenets like us remain true working animals, tough, intelligent, and absolutely essential to the nomadic way of life. They don't just herd, they hunt Arctic foxes, pull sleds, and guard settlements. The Nenets rank their dogs by herding ability, with the fastest capable of catching up to 3 foxes in a single day. Chapter 4. The Ultimate Winter Gear. In a place where frostbite can happen in minutes, your clothes are your life support. You might think your fancy high-tech winter gear would be the best, but in the sustained Siberian cold, synthetic materials can get stiff, and worse, they often trap sweat. That sweat then freezes, creating a deadly layer of ice right next to your skin. The Nenets developed a clothing system centuries ago that remains equally effective as, and in sustained cold, often superior to, modern alternatives. The solution? You guessed it, the reindeer. The main garment for men is the malitsa. It's a heavy hooded coat made from the hides of 4 reindeer. Just like the choom, it has 2 layers. The inner layer has the fur facing inward, pressing soft, dense insulation against the body. The outer layer is the tough hide facing out, acting as a windproof shell. It's a single pullover with no front zipper, so drafts can't get in. And the mittens are sewn right onto the sleeves, so you can't lose them or expose your hands by accident. The boots, called pimi, are maybe the most important part. They're thigh-high and also double-layered. The sole is made from the tough fur on a reindeer's legs, which gives amazing grip on ice. And here's the brilliant part. They don't wear socks. Instead, they stuff the boots with dry grass. This grass wicks away any moisture from their feet, and they just replace it every day. It keeps their feet perfectly dry and warm because the natural hide is breathable, letting moisture escape in a way most modern waterproof materials can't. In the absolute coldest weather, they add another coat over the top, the sovik, creating a 3 or 4 layer system of fur and hide. A man dressed in this system can survive sleeping in the snow for short periods. Making this clothing is a science. The women use thread made from reindeer sinew rolled into a strong cord on their cheek. They know exactly which part of the hide to use for which part of the garment. Tough leg skin for boots, soft back fur for the main coat. This isn't just clothing, it's a second skin, a piece of biomimicry that lets them move and work for hours in impossible conditions. And when it wears out, it just returns to the earth. It's the perfect armor against the cold. Chapter 5. Reading the Snow. The Nenets don't just see snow, they see an entire language written across the tundra. Their vocabulary contains dozens of precise terms for different snow conditions: crusty, ice-covered snow that can trap reindeer, powder that hides good pasture, wet snow perfect for building. This isn't poetic, it's survival data. By looking at snow layers, hardness, and crystal structure, herders can predict where reindeer can dig through to reach lichen and where dangerous ice crusts lurk beneath. Even the reindeer themselves have learned which snow types break easily under their hooves. This knowledge, coded into language itself, allows the Nenets to read the landscape like a detailed map that changes daily. Similar to the Inuit and Sami peoples, who also developed extensive snow vocabularies, the Nenets' linguistic system represents thousands of years of accumulated environmental science. When climate change brings new weather patterns like the devastating winter rains that create impenetrable ice layers over lichen, the Nenets create new words to describe these previously unknown conditions. Their language evolves with their environment, a living record of both ancient wisdom and contemporary adaptation. The skills you've just seen are a form of deep wisdom passed down for 1,000 years, but this whole way of life is fragile. What do you think of this system the Nenets have created? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if you want to see more stories like this that explore the deep connection between people and the planet, take a moment to subscribe. By supporting the channel, you help us bring more of these vital stories to light. In our modern world, so disconnected from where our own survival comes from, the Nenets offer a powerful lesson. They remind us that true wealth isn't what you can take from the land, but the balance you find with it. Their life is a testament to the idea that the deepest understanding of the world comes not from conquering it, but from listening to it. Their struggle to keep their identity in a rapidly changing world is one of the most important stories of our time. For this video, that's it. A big hug, and see you later.